Welcome back, it's me Lou. Today will be a special video as I showcase a custom G.I. Joe Classified Series action figure that I recently put together. But before we begin, I just want to give you a quick background on the actual character and why I chose to make it. So what we have here is a photograph of the original G.I. Joe jetpack, and it came with the action figure Grand Slam right here. Now this was the second release of this playset, which we see on the left, and that is the Jet Mobile Propulsion Unit. The first version, which came out I think in 1982 or 83, only featured the playset without a figure. I think a year or two later, they released this deluxe set, which included the action figure Grand Slam, which is showcased here on the right. And one of the significant things about this action figure is that it featured the swivel arm battle grip, which was a huge game changer in the realm of G.I. Joe action figures. And let's take a look at the figure real quick. So here is the actual figure and the accessory that it came with. I used to have this figure back in the day. Mine's been either lost or broken. I still do have my original childhood playset though, with the jetpack and the launch pad. But this is essentially what you got back in the day with the second release of this playset. It was really cool. You know, you got this cool launch pad, you got the jetpack, and then you got the updated figure of Grand Slam with the swivel arm and the jetpack. Grand Slam was actually a repaint of Flash. This guy here was kind of like a dark grayish green with silver body armor, whereas the original Flash action figure, I think, had a different head and had the silver and red body armor. But for the sake of my custom, I chose to go with Grand Slam because I kind of felt like this color scheme was a little bit easier to do than the Flash one. And let's take a look at my custom. So here is my custom Grand Slam with the jetpack. I tried to retain the color scheme as much as possible. I gave him the silver body armor, the thigh guards. The only thing it's kind of missing is the similar guards that are over his biceps. I couldn't find a clean way of pulling it off where it looked nice. Whenever I make a custom or a kit bash, my first goal is always try to make an action figure that looks stock. And when I say stock, I want it to look like something that kind of came off the assembly line, like it was an actual real G.I. Joe toy. You know, I don't like to over embellish things like with unnecessary details that make it look a little bit too over the top. You know, I kind of want something that'll easily blend in with the rest of my action figures. And let's do a quick comparison real quick. So it's not a perfect customs by any means. This was more so kind of like a proof of concept because I kind of had this idea in my head for a long time and I wanted to see if I could pull it off. The green is definitely a off color. You know, the original toy is a little bit more on the grayish green, where this is kind of more like a really dark drab green. I tried to retain the silver body armor and the thigh guards. The jetpack was taken from the recently released G.I. Joe Classified Series Steel Core Trooper 2-pack. And yeah, this is my custom. Now, if you want to know what the base figure was, I used the G.I. Joe Classified Series Grunt, which is right here. So when this figure first came out, I was like, man, this would make a great base body for a custom. This figure, it's like, for me, it's everything I'd want in using as the foundation for a G.I. Joe custom action figure or a kit bash. Just because, you know, the uniform is very plain looking, it's very generic. You know, there aren't any like key identifying elements which kind of make it more unique. You know, it's not like Snake Eyes or Duke or Zartan. You know, this is just like a standard Grunt. It's a very basic looking soldier. And when I saw this, I'm like, man, this would make a great base body. And one of the figures I've been wanting to make for the longest time was either Grand Slam or Flash. And Grand Slam is the one we see right here. So I'm like, okay, you know, I could just take off the body armor or modify it. And then, you know, I could maybe cobble together You know, this kind of like flak jacket out of another piece or something maybe from Marvel Legends. And then when I initially removed this, the first thing I noticed is that the back side of it, it kind of resembled the shape of the chest armor right here. You know, if you notice here how kind of like angles upwards, and it shares a very similar shape. And I'm like, you know, I could work off of this. Even though it's not a perfect match, I think I could like at least repaint it and, you know, kind of get it to flow. And I could probably cobble together some sort of like thigh guards here, which I did. I just used some remnants from some old Marvel Legends vests that I had. I kind of cut out the texture pieces and repainted them. So you know, here's the original figure on our right, and then if you can see, I just flipped the vest, you know, backwards and used it as a chest guard. And when you do that, it doesn't get in the way. It still leaves the peg hole open, so you can still attach the backpack. So yeah, it's just a simple concept I wanted to share with you, you know, in case any of you other customizers or kit bashers want to give this a shot. The helmet's the same as the Grunt helmet. The only thing was I took a very thin piece of plastic and used that as the visor. Initially, the plastic was clear. It wasn't until after I bent it, a few moments later, it just, for whatever reason, kind of fogged up, which didn't bother me that much, just because, you know, for me at least, it covers up the face, so it's not the same, you know, face we see here as Grunt. And if you've had the original toy, the original visor was kind of cloudy. You know, it wasn't like a clear see-through thing. So yeah, so I just wanted to share this with you. You know, this is my Grand Slam with Jetpack, and I'm sure in due time Hasbro will give us an official one, but for me this is just a proxy. You know, I kind of had this idea floating around in my head, and I just wanted to take on the challenge and see if I could, you know, put one together. And it's decent. Like I said, it's not perfect, but for now it's just, you know, it's a fun evening project. All right, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.